Have you ever noticed that some people seem impossible to manipulate? They don't get dragged into pointless arguments. They don't feel the need to explain themselves to everyone. And no matter how hard others try to provoke them, they remain calm, composed, and in control. Most people assume this comes from confidence, but often it comes from something deeper: awareness. Truly intelligent people understand a simple truth that many others overlook. Not every question is asked out of genuine curiosity. Some questions are designed to expose weaknesses. Some are meant to create pressure. Others are subtle traps disguised as ordinary conversation. That's why smart people pay attention not only to the words being spoken, but also to the intention behind them. Before answering, they ask themselves, why is this person asking? What are they really trying to gain? And what happens if I give them the answer they want? Because every answer reveals something. Every explanation gives access. And sometimes the wrong answer can hand control to the wrong person. In this video, we'll explore 5 questions that highly intelligent people rarely answer. Not because they're hiding something, but because they've learned that protecting their peace, privacy, and self-respect is often more valuable than satisfying someone else's curiosity. The first question smart people rarely answer is, why are you so quiet? At first, it sounds harmless. In fact, many people ask it casually without thinking twice. But underneath the surface, this question often carries an unspoken assumption that silence needs to be explained. Intelligent people understand that silence is not a flaw. It is not a social mistake. Sometimes, silence simply means a person is observing, listening, analyzing, or choosing not to waste energy on conversations that add no real value. The problem is that many people feel uncomfortable around someone they cannot easily read. When a person stays quiet, others may become curious, suspicious, or even insecure. So they ask questions in an attempt to make that person more predictable. Smart people recognize this dynamic. They know they do not owe anyone an explanation for their natural state. Instead of rushing to justify themselves, they remain comfortable in silence, because they understand that silence is often a form of confidence, not weakness. The second question smart people rarely answer is, do you think you're better than everyone else? At first glance, it sounds like a request for honesty, but in many cases, it is something else entirely. It is an emotional trap disguised as a question. People rarely ask this when they genuinely want to understand someone. More often, they ask it when they feel uncomfortable, threatened, or intimidated. Maybe the intelligent person remained calm during an argument. Maybe they refused to follow the crowd. Or maybe they simply expressed an opinion that challenged the group's beliefs. Instead of examining their own discomfort, some people turn it into an accusation. Smart people recognize this pattern. They understand that no explanation will satisfy someone who has already decided what to believe. Defending themselves often only fuels the misunderstanding further. So rather than wasting energy trying to convince others, they step back and remain composed. Because intelligent people know that confidence does not require approval, and not every accusation deserves a response. The third question smart people rarely answer is, tell me something personal about yourself. At first, this may seem like a harmless attempt to build a connection, and sometimes it genuinely is. But intelligent people understand that not everyone who asks personal questions has good intentions. Some people seek understanding, others seek information. They collect details about your fears, insecurities, mistakes, dreams, and emotional history. Not because they care, but because information gives them influence. The more they know about you, the easier it becomes to judge you, manipulate you, or use your vulnerabilities against you later. That is why smart people are selective about what they share and who they share it with. They understand that trust should be earned, not assumed. Being private does not mean being unfriendly. It does not mean being secretive. It simply means recognizing that access to your inner world is a privilege, not a right. Smart people are willing to be vulnerable, but only with people who have proven they can be trusted. Because once personal information leaves your mouth, you can never fully take it back. The fourth question smart people rarely answer is, whose side are you on? This question often appears during conflict, gossip, office politics, family arguments, or social drama. On the surface, it sounds like a simple request for support, But in reality, it often demands something much more dangerous: loyalty before truth. The person asking may want validation, not understanding. They want you to choose a team before you know the full story. Once you do, you become emotionally invested in a version of events that may not even be accurate. Smart people recognize this trap. They understand that every conflict has multiple perspectives, hidden motives, and missing information. Making a judgment too quickly can turn them into a weapon in someone else's battle. Instead of rushing to take sides, they observe. They ask questions. They gather facts. Because intelligent people know that truth is more valuable than popularity. And when someone pressures you to choose a side before understanding the situation, they may not be seeking honesty at all. They may simply be recruiting allies for a fight they have already decided to wage. The fifth question smart people rarely answer is, can you prove how smart you are? This is one of the most obvious bait questions people can ask. On the surface, it sounds like a challenge, but beneath it lies a hidden demand. Perform for me. Many people feel an urge to defend themselves when their intelligence is questioned. They rush to explain, argue, show off their knowledge, or prove their worth. But truly intelligent people rarely feel that need. They understand that intelligence is not a performance. It is not something that appears in a single conversation or clever comeback. Real intelligence reveals itself through judgment, self-control, awareness, and the ability to make good decisions over time. Smart people know that trying to impress everyone is a losing game. The people who genuinely value intelligence do not need proof. And the people demanding proof are often unwilling to recognize it anyway. That is why intelligent people stay focused on actions rather than appearances, because wisdom does not need an audience to exist. And that is why smart people are careful with the questions they answer. They understand something that most people never stop to consider. Every question is an invitation. Some invitations lead to understanding, trust, and meaningful connection. Others lead to manipulation, judgment, conflict, and unnecessary drama. That is why intelligent people pay attention to more than just words. They pay attention to motives. When someone asks, "Why are you so quiet?" they recognize the pressure to justify themselves. When someone asks, "Do you think you're better than everyone else?" they recognize the trap of defending themselves against another person's insecurity. When someone asks for personal information, they understand that curiosity does not automatically earn access. When someone demands to know whose side they are on, they know that truth should come before loyalty. And when someone asks them to prove how smart they are, they understand that real intelligence never needs to perform for approval. This is one of the biggest misconceptions about intelligence. People often think smart individuals always have the perfect answer. But in reality, one of the strongest signs of intelligence is knowing when not to answer at all. Because every answer gives away something. Your attention, your energy, your emotions, your privacy, your peace of mind. And truly intelligent people protect those things carefully. So the next time someone asks you a question, do not focus only on what they are asking. Ask yourself why they are asking it. Sometimes the smartest response is not a clever answer. Sometimes the smartest response is silence. If you found this video valuable, leave a comment below and tell us which of these 5 questions you have encountered most often in your own life. And if you enjoy content about psychology, self-improvement, and social intelligence, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss our next video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.